I'm sorry it's gotten to the point where Rookie of the Year is over 2-3 weeks ago. All the Southern Caitlin Clark is starting to push A'ja Wilson for MVP that this league, and I am not exaggeration. Excuse me, exaggerate what happens when an upstart who is obviously a rising star even within the veteran WNBA players sets her sights on the current queen. Well, brace yourselves, is Caitlin Clark is going head to head with A'ja Wilson for the Most Valuable Player award, and boy is it one of the most heated controversies we have ever witnessed this week. We look at the narrative, the numbers, and what these slams require for women's basketball in the years to come. Contest for the WNBA MVP award haven't the past elicited heated arguments, but this time it is extraordinary, especially as Caitlin Clark is going straight up against A'ja Wilson. Wilson is the two-time retired and one-time active player who hatched in side several laminated sheets for multiple seasons and is currently leading all players, yet here comes Caitlin Clark as though out of nowhere, and all these magnificent displays of hers have made a commotion. Clark, her scoring and playmaking skills had indeed been evident at an early stage in her career, but she is doing much more as a rookie. She is gunning for the most prestigious award in the league. Clark has recently dethroned the former record of all-time score and women college basketball history, and her stats during the first season and WNBA do not disappoint as well. She topped the rookies chart both in points and assists, and she has changed the Indiana Fever from one struggling to one of the invigorating teams this season since the All-Star break. But is this even a competition with Wilson, who is great only for sure at one thing, being consistently good? It is a debate and not about mere numbers these days. Gone are times when it was about leveling up statistics. It is about growing, bringing in something to the team, and how it is remembered. The phenomenal speed Caitlin Clark's development made it possible for her not only to enter the conversation about the most valuable players, but also to restore her own team, the Indiana Fever. Ever since the All-Star break, there has been a drastic change in the fortune of the Fever, and a large part of this change is credited to Clark's direction and performance on the court. Time and again she has proven that she is not just a director, with her scoring being on the highest level. Her vision and playmaking abilities are also bright and dense, making her teammates' performances better instead of herself. In terms of numbers, Clark is leading among rookies, consistently racking impressive stats and points and assists, but her contributions go beyond that. Her energy, work ethic, and her composure under pressure have raised the spirits of her teammates and have made them a strong force in the WNBA. Question now is, does that rank her higher than A'ja Wilson in any way? With such individual stats and experience, making her a force to be reckoned with for quite some time now. Those who support this opinion and those who oppose it and who support audio will not calm, and as the season goes on, Clark's contribution is proving hard to overlook. At the other end of this MVP debate is A'ja Wilson, a long-time veteran who's already put her stamp in the WNBA. Wilson has been admirable for her consistent output, with years of brilliance that have ensured that she remains the focal point of her floor. Her scoring attributes can still be seen even today as she puts the ball in the basket to help her team experience victories. However, the MVP races tend to favor a factor consistency, and in that area Wilson remains the most. She is a great player, both on the court as a leader and off it, being able to handle the pressure of being a title challenger each season. However, now that Mark has begun to find form, a lot has been asking whether this is going to be the changing of the guard we were waiting for. Wilson is no longer sure of her place at the very top, and she understands that with every passing game the pressure keeps on increasing, and even though Wilson gets the job done, the picture of Clark is always there. What factors make a play or better than all others at the moments when needed the most? Is it pocketing the totals for points and assists that makes a player most valuable, or the influence such a player has on the overall setup in the team and in the league structure? This is the crux of the MVP race, or at least the most well-marked aspect of where our A'ja Wilson faces off Caitlin Clark. Whilst Wilson has sustained his see him playing as a performer, Caitlin has stepped up all game in a season that calls for a new definition of what can be MVP worthy. Such recent performances by Clark have triggered not only fans' debates but also basketball experts' discussions. Some people believe that considering the impact she has on the game, her ability to bring in fans, and the fact that she has made the Indiana Fever a competitive team makes her candidate for MVP. Others think that considering Wilson's sustained high-level performance over the years and her ability to rally people and stand up to the pressure makes her the deserving MVP. Yet again, further into the season the antithesis is likely to develop further, with both players defending their respective positions. On the courts, the battle for the MVP title between Caitlin Clark and A'ja Wilson goes beyond merit. This has implications for the development of the WNBA itself. The league is expanding rapidly as there are players such as Clark who have brought in new audiences to women's basketball. As to the controversy concerning Clark and Wilson, it reflects the issue of the image of a day You won't be a star, and the possible paths of the league and the further advanced. Clark was responsible for positive trends in viewership in attendance as a number of viewers specifically watched her as a player. She is extremely marketable and belongs to the younger generation that is changing the perception of the sport. There are also elder statesmen like Wilson who still forms the backbone of the league and demonstrates to the world that age and stability counts for something as well. This tussle, which is basically a tussle between new age players like Clark and old established ones like Wilson, is what the WNBA will be in the near future. Progressing further into the WNBA season, it is worth noting that the title race for MVP between Caitlin Clark and our Jo Wilson will come to the center stage. Both players have something. It is Wilson with a lot of consistency and Clark with outstanding individual performances. The winner of this race will not only leave a mark on their legacies, but the history of the WNBA will be affected in the coming future as well. Fans are keeping an eye for the clash of these two behemoths, and needless to say this season will be etched in memories for long. And there you have it. Caitlin Clark's amazing growth in the WNBA has not only sparked a fierce competition for MVP, but also changed the game of women's basketball forever. The fact that there is still some history being made on the court makes the sustainable versus a breakthrough performance debate even more appealing. It does not matter if you are Team Age Jo Wilson or Team Caitlin Clark. One thing is clear: the future has never looked so good for the WNBA. Caitlin Clark is a superstar, not a female superstar. She is a superstar. Attention span, the heck of it. I had like 24 days together. I think that prevented of a challenge for our team, especially really young. Came and experience himself in a shrine of by their chemistry and how they work together, as has provided a challenge for us by having as you watches over the course of has 4 games like personify Connecticut to this life have I can't get home. Like there's been a huge difference in how we play and how to play together, and that shit with and so I think a lot of positives like developer, but I was at how that a challenge us right now, having to go from game practice games era. You know that Pakistan's you can't really do much better internet on it. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, because you wouldn't want to miss very interesting episodes like this one as we get to our detailed analysis of the recent trends in sports. Please leave a comment regarding who you think should be crowned MVP this season. Also, if you enjoyed watching this, be